Good afternoon, bonjour. Good afternoon. Welcome to welcome to Mugs and Trail News. I'm your host Corey Whitford. Today is January the 7th, 2021, and you're watching Mugs and Trail News Live. This is the health and wellness program this afternoon. It's where we give you updates on the COVID-19 pandemic and other information as it relates to recreation, sports, and well-being. I want to give you the update immediately on the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been 208 COVID-19 cases announced today on Thursday, and 12 more deaths in Manitoba on Thursday. Test positivity rate dips below 10% for first time since early November. There are 208 COVID-19 cases in Manitoba on Thursday, and 12 more people have died from the illness, the province says. This taken from the most recent post at CBC News. The latest death include a Northern Health Region man in his 30s and 6 deaths linked to outbreaks across the province, a news report says. Manitoba's 5-day COVID-19 test positivity rate is down to 9.9%, the first time that figure has dipped below 10% since November 9. In Winnipeg, the rate is 10.5%, the release says. The latest update comes one day before the expiration of the province's current public health orders, which ban most gatherings and the sale of non-essential items. Those rules expire at 11:59 p.m. on Friday. But on a conference call with reporters on Thursday, Acting Deputy Chief Provincial Public Health Officer Dr. Jazz Atwell said the specifics of what will replace those restrictions are still being discussed, though there's no indication any rules will be lifted. Atwell said those details are likely to be revealed on Friday. Facilities with deaths announced Thursday are a woman in her 90s from Brandon's Fairview Personal Care Home, and in Winnipeg, a woman in her 60s from the Convalescent Home of Winnipeg, a woman in her 80s from Concordia Personal Care Home, a woman in her 80s from the River East Personal Care Home, a man in his 90s from the Charleswood Care Center, and a woman in her 90s from Bethania Mennonite Personal Care Home, the release says. The latest deaths, which brings Manitoba's total to 717, also include a Prairie Mountain Health man in his 60s, a Southern Health woman in her 60s, and 3 women in their 50s, 70s, and 80s in the Winnipeg Health Region. Bonjour, good afternoon, Gabriel. If you're just tuning in, I'm reading about the COVID-19, the latest on COVID-19 and an update on the amount of new cases. There's 200 new cases, and there have been 12 deaths and so on. I'm reading through it too, Ganina, going through the article here on behalf of ourselves and our elders too. I'm reading an article to them as well. And to you, my friend. A COVID-19 outbreak has been declared at the McCreary Alonza Health Center in McCreary, Manitoba, the release says. The outbreak at Winnipeg's Seine River Retirement Home is now over. About half the new cases announced Thursday, which are 105, are in the Winnipeg Health Region, while just under 1/3, which is about 60, are in the Northern Health Region, the release says. The remaining new cases are split between the Prairie Mountain Health and Southern Health Regions, 17 each to be exact, and the Interlake Health Region, 9 over there. There were 2,132 COVID-19 tests done in Manitoba on Wednesday, the release says. That's the highest number done in a single day since numbers were announced after Christmas on December 27. Those tests bring the total number done in the province to 432,839. Excuse me. Excuse me, I didn't realize I hadn't even worn my headset. Forgive me. Let's do that. Let's start right from the beginning. Forgive me. I'm reading from the CBC News website, and this just Um, in Manitoba, 208 new COVID-19 cases have been announced, with 12 more deaths in Manitoba on Thursday. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're just tuning in, I'm Corey Whitford, host of Moxon Trail News Live, and you are watching the Health and Wellness program here at 3 p.m. Today, we're giving you an update on the pandemic and reading direct from the CBC News site as our source. And the title, let's read the article. Provincial test positivity rate dips below 10% for first time since early November. Forgive me, I didn't realize I didn't have my microphone on. There are 208 COVID-19 cases in Manitoba on Thursday, and 12 more people have died from the illness, the province says. Really? Okay. Oh, right, Gina. Okay, so now I do know. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, let's continue where I'm at here. Right here, almost towards the bottom, Aja. There were 2,132 COVID-19 tests done in Manitoba on Wednesday, the release says. That's the highest number done in a single day since numbers were announced after Christmas on December 27. Those tests bring the total number done in province to 432,839. 7 previously announced COVID-19 cases were removed from Manitoba's totals on Thursday, the release says, bringing the total number identified in the province to 25,742. Sites where there have been possible COVID-19 exposures in Manitoba are listed by region on the province's website. There are now 319 COVID-19 patients in hospital, including 228 who are still infectious, the release says. Of those people, 35 are in intensive care, which means including 31 still infectious. There are also 26 COVID-19 patients on ventilators, including 23 whose cases are still considered active. Shared Health Chief Nursing Officer Lynette Saragusa said on the conference call. To date, 20,519 people in Manitoba have been deemed to have recovered from COVID-19, and 4,506 cases are still considered active. Though health officials say that number is still inflated by a data entry backlog. All season shelters at all Manitoba's 125 personal care homes will soon be ready to use, the release says. While the province remains at the critical red pandemic response level, the shelters will be used to allow one person to visit a care home resident at a time. Sites that don't have those shelters have identified places for visits with similar pandemic precautions in place, the release says. Masks will be required, physical distancing has to be maintained, and visitors will be screened for COVID-19 symptoms or exposures. All visits will be by appointment only, with more details coming from each care home in the coming days, the release says. I didn't know a lot of that information that's contained in there until I read that article. So today, to update 208 new COVID-19 cases and 12 more deaths in Manitoba on Thursday. My condolences to the families. When reading the article, you realize this is a pandemic we're in. And yeah, big numbers, very big numbers for me to look at today. I want to thank you for tuning in, Gabriel and Gina. Thank you, Esniji. We know, we bought a lot of equipment. We're getting ready for our interviews, and we're going to be asking guests to join us on the program. Guests who have oral history, knowledge of the treaty, of child rearing practices, historical child rearing practice. How did we raise a child? Me, and that's the type of information we're looking for. And I was looking at one of our emails there in our MS Teams. One of the comments from our Nina went our First Nations First Nations and Treaty Territory government. Kayo naman and ito siya, we're doing a budget kaninik for guests. Uh, uh, how do you call that? A per diem or an honorarium for people who offer historical knowledge. We get oral history knowledge. Mia and on dayamang. Yes, Lisa, and have a great evening, my friend. I'll be getting a little. I'm going for a walk again this evening, by the way. That's my fourth night in a row. Ang giniwis sa ganam ni Cotton. But I feel great about it. And so there you have it. We're working a budget. We're organizing interviews. Marlene Davis is, she's in the city, Winnipeg, Mango. And I do believe we're going to be FaceTiming or on the MS Teams tonight, talking about organizing the interviews now. It's on the way. It's coming now. And I believe there's going to be a budget that's attached to it. And spoke with our co-keepers, um, our team for tomorrow morning's interview with Mr. Ron Missy-Abbott and Mr. Sean Girk from the Care and Protection of the Natural World Circle. Umawabang gabi nag-iskok, and Marlene's going to help me to set up the interview with both gentlemen. And that's me. Yeah, we're connecting the dots. Marlene sets up the interviews, and I wait for the interviewee to arrive on site. So that's just so you know, that's how we're connecting it now. That's how it's operate the process of becoming a guest on one of these programs. Marlene Davis Tanigani, Wina utapin on the interviews, Wini tamak. And what she normally does, I've seen it, is she sends an email to the guest or to the person who's going to appear online with us here at Moncton Trail News Live. And in there, it tells you, it shows a hyperlink, basically letters in blue, bolded with an underline, indicating that's me. Yeah, you press that link and it brings you direct to right to my screen, right to the bottom of the screen there. And in doing so, I can see you when you arrive. And then I can see the countdown, and you'll see the same countdown. It goes 3, 2, 1, and then you go live right from there. And that's how it's working on my end. When you wake chinda muna, and I have to tell you directly, so you can tell other people there's a 3 second countdown, and then you come on to the program, and then I bring you in by basically pressing a button that says show in stream. I press that red button, and that's it. You're here with me, sharing the screen with me. And you've seen how it looked before. And tomorrow we're trying uh, our first triple, I call it. There's going to be three of us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on the screen. That's three people on one screen. Yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow is the tomorrow is the gathering. I look at it in phases, and tomorrow will be the most amount of people we've ever had on one screen. And so I'm excited, and yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'm stoked to use that terminology. So tomorrow at 8 a.m., right at 8 a.m. And I know we haven't received any notifications of upcoming shows, and I didn't realize it until this morning. Geez, the man no and I have to arrange for the shows up ahead. And what I've been doing is I've been going signing on, and then scheduling a stream, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes just before we go live. And what I've learned is this: we get better numbers and we get better engagement when we announce the entire week, because it shows up on your screen and it shows all the upcoming shows. And a lot of our viewers may future viewers may not know where we are unless we announce where we are. So I'll be loading up a week's worth of notifications for next week. Next week is the big week for us. Sa mi gagi no hindi kito naman on the health and wellness show, and we're still going to access. We're going to approach Miss Karen Kijik as well to come on the show for next week, health and wellness. Me ma winay, that is her territory. That's her area. We're convinced, and we like the teachings of the Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe, get a jingle dress dancer, traditional woman. Next week, 3 p.m. That's what you're going to see is Miss Karen Kijik coming onto the program and sharing her knowledge as well as an Anishinaabe. I feel great about that. Let's turn to the meeting chat. I want to say thank you to everyone. Gina, yes, I think it is a backlog of about 2 days. Went for a COVID test Tuesday morning and received my negative result. Congratulations, Gina. Yeah, it's kichigeo yeah manitu shopinewin upaniak cuisine, whichever terminology you use, whichever word you use to describe the COVID-19 pandemic, or if you're just saying kitcha cuisine, the big sickness. That's basically how I've been going so far. And Jason, good afternoon, Gagin. Listen, miwech, stay strong, ni chawin. Okay, so Gina, here you have the final comment. What time tomorrow are the interviews? At 8 a.m. 8 a.m. And waiting for a phone call from Marlene Davis. I can feel her. She's somewhere around here. I can feel she's going to call me soon, and she'll come and drop off some more merch. Anin Bonnie gagging, yeah, Bonnie. We've got merchandise. We've got coffee cups, and we've got poster boards. We're assembling ourselves slowly, methodically, in lockstep, one step at a time. All of us, we're inching closer and closer to go time next week, where we'll be conducting interviews. And so tomorrow, when we meet with Sean Girk, Mr. Sean Girk and Mr. Ron Missy Abbott, co-keepers of the care and protection of the natural world, we know they're going to talk about what their strategy is going to be and how they're going to go about sharing the progress, sharing the work plan, sharing the tasks that need to be carried out, and what type of information they both are going to be searching for. Feeling really good about that. Feeling awesome that the all of the our people in the circle here in the FNT2T, in the First Nations and Treaty 2 territory government, are coming together now. I can see all the pieces. Their commitment to this huge, massive undertaking. Okay, so tomorrow is the big day. We'll have 2 interviews in the morning, and I still got to talk to Marlene Davis about what we're doing at noon hour on Friday. That's going to be the TP Talks Kanabachia Friday. That's going to be Mogson Trail at 8 a.m. We big a first thing in the morning. Circle Talks at noon hour. Health and Wellness at 3 p.m. And then Anishinaabemowin here with me, Corey the Coyote. Tomorrow, Friday, we're on book 9 and probably going to go right up to book 10 for the kiddies, age 4 to 7. And for any new speaker out there who's willing to learn Anishinaabemowin, who has the patience and who has the passion to learn, the interest and the curiosity, because that's what it takes. It's like learning a guitar. The same. It's just the same as learning a guitar. You need to practice, practice, practice. You need to be around music. You need to hear music. Get dabit that you know daman. That's the best advice in general. Generic advice I can give at this time. Okay, so Bonnie, Leeson, yes, I'll make that poster shareable. I'll make it shareable for you, Nijawan. And the other big thing I want to share with you here, big thing, big change for me personally, is we're operating off of one platform right now. We're using one certain type of platform, and we're going to be switching this from this platform to another one. Uzamay sa dawat nananda ke ano de jichigang. And I find that that is true. We're having a little bit of difficulty and glitches, technical glitches. For instance, when we put videos on the bottom of the screen, when we preload our program with videos we intend on showing to you, the camera doesn't turn on. We can't access the camera unless we erase and delete everything from the strip on the bottom here that I'm looking at. In stream ijinikate, yeah, the in stream strip. And just realize that, and that's a major glitch for us because we can't run any video. So we did some research and we found out that the professional organizations, the professional places that does videos, they use Vimeo, Vimeo, and me money that we're gonna go into that. We're gonna upgrade to that platform. It's a learning process, and I'm so glad that we had time to vet out all the glitches and get familiar with each other and get comfortable and establish a space for us, for Ninawint, our people in the Treaty 2 territory and all of the nations within. Okay, so Leeson, that's my commitment to you is to get this poster up and running so you can see where all of our programming takes place. And let me work on that for Ajanani Jawan. Let me put that aside as a task that I'll complete for you on behalf of the all of the viewers. So, have you heard? We're setting up a budget to pay our guests money for their knowledge, for oral history knowledge, 1871, the day before, the day of, and the day after. It's true. Marlene Davis is going to tell me a little bit more about how exactly are we going to go about it, and how do we pay our guests? Do we EMT? Do we use PayPal? Do we use Kenda? And like what? How do we go about establishing that payment? Because we can't hand deliver any checks, and so most likely going to have to figure out a process for getting the payment to our guests who provide the knowledge here online with us as a guest, and all programs are taped for posterity so that someday when we go to look back on this year 2021, the beginning of 2021, we'll see that this is where we initially began. Hamsa, the miyata ko minikwi kitoan na want to wish everyone a very safe and careful. You have to be careful this evening. Just reading that article, literally for me, just reading that article really gives me I feel it. I feel it. Bagyo manze, guess which I chanimituan yet abskugego. But we have to continue. We have to we have to stay strong and be brave and be courageous and forge ahead and be positive. That's exactly what we intend to do. And so, ni ganidug, dinema ganidug. Thank you for tuning in once again and for showing support once again. Pajay, you are my crew. You are my crew. I look to you for advice, for support, and for help. And I want to thank you for tuning in once again. So, with that, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., if you're around, if you're around, I'll share coffee with you tomorrow at 8 a.m. with Sean Girk and with Ron Misiabit, the co-keepers of the Care and Protection of Natural World Circle. And we'll do a meeting right here on our platform here, and then we'll see how that goes. Three people on one screen talking. I really want. I'm looking forward to see what Sean has to say, and what Ron Missy Abbott has to say about the work that they are undertaking. And if I look back at what is their circle, Care and Protection of Natural World, well, I'm going to read right from our poster board here. The Care and Protection of the Natural World works with the regional offices and local nation helpers to manage and protect the land, water, and resources in the territory. And tomorrow we're going to find out just how they're going to go about it. So stay tuned. Come on back at 8 in the morning. Get a good night's rest. Tomorrow's Friday. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'm your host, Corey Whitford. You've been watching Mugs and Trail News Live, and our program this afternoon is Health and Wellness. Tomorrow we'll reconvene again at 8 a.m. on Mugs and Trail News Live on behalf of the First Nations in Treaty 2 territory, and we'll be meeting with guests, Mr. Ron Missy Abbott and Mr. Sean Girk. Me which? Aho. Minoy wab migo. Where,